Hello, my name is Mr. Polk and welcome to my kitchen. Today we want to learn how to make banana bread. And the key to banana bread is to really have bananas that are over-ripened. And these bananas here can ripen even more so they get more dark spots and look almost black. Because what's going to happen is as the banana ripens, the starches in the banana start to turn into sugars. And the sugars is what makes it sweet. The riper the banana, the sweeter the banana. For this recipe, we're going to use 3½ bananas. And the other thing is, when they're soft like that, they're easy to mush. You can see that I put the 3½ bananas in a bowl. And you can use a fork to mash them, or I just put on a pair of gloves and just mash them together. But you want your bananas mashed up really nice. Now, this is a unique recipe that I developed and really like for banana bread. I call it the emulsion method. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the sugar in, and you're going to put your 2 eggs in, and you're going to put in your salt. And then this is going to go in your KitchenAid mixer. And you're going to start it on stir, and you're going to take it up to about 6. And in a little bit we'll take a look at it on the mixer cam to see how that really looks. But what we're going to do is try to get this till it gets thick. All right. When you whip the whole egg like this, it's not like when you whip the egg white and it gets very high volume like meringue, but it's going to get thick and it's going to turn into what we call the ribbon stage. Now while that's mixing, we want to take a look at the rest of the recipe. We want to mix all of our dry together. Okay? So we're going to take our AP flour, 1 2/3 cup. Now this uses cups, so make sure you don't pack the flour and do a nice level sweep on it. And then we're going to put in our flavorings here. We're going to do some nutmeg, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, about 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay? And then we're going to put in our leavening, which is baking soda. And then we're just going to mix that together. And then when it's time, we're going to add that to our recipe. For the fat for this recipe is going to be vegetable oil. So you're going to need 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And then for our liquids, we're going to use sour cream. We're going to use vanilla. And then, of course, the banana. So let's take a look at what our mixer's starting to look like and see if we're getting close to what we like to call the ribbon stage. So here you can see the mixer going around, and you notice that the sugar and the salt and the eggs have now thickened, and they've reached what we like to call the ribbon stage. So if I turn the mixer off, and in the camera here, if I take the bowl out and I tilt it towards the camera like this, you can see how it's thickened. And then you kind of go like this, and when you lift it up, you can see through the whisk it makes these ribbons, and this is what we would call the ribbon stage. Okay, so we'll put this back on, and what we're going to do now is make an emulsion. So we're going to take the mixer back up to 6. You can even go up between 6 and 8 if you want. And just like when you made salad dressing in level 1, you're going to drizzle the oil in very slowly in a steady stream and allow it to emulsify with the eggs and the sugar mixture. So I'm just going to pour this in, and it's going to emulsify. You want to pour it in as fast as it can take it. You don't want to have like a pool of oil on the top. Okay, you just want to do a nice thin stream. We want to have a really nice emulsion here. What we don't want is separations on the side. I mean, except for the large amount of sugar, you're pretty much making mayonnaise. It's just that this has a lot of extra sugar in it. So once you have all of your oil in, you need to let this mix around until it takes up everything and is a nice smooth emulsion. I'll let this go for a second and let you see what it looks like. You can see it has a real nice shine to it. It has the thickness to it. Everything looks great. So what we're going to do is shut her down, and I'll lower it, and you can see, you know, how beautiful that looks, how it has the oil blended in. This is going to help make a very nice product because of the fact that the oil and the fats are all emulsified together. And now what we're going to do is put in our bananas. Okay, so these are the over-ripened bananas. Here you can see a real close-up of all the little colors in there, and what really gives you that flavor of banana bread. And we're going to put that into our mixer. Okay. And then for the liquids, we also have the sour cream. Sour cream is great. It's cultured. Remember we put in baking soda, so the sour cream is acidic, so that's going to work out great. It also gives you that little tang that goes with the nutmeg and everything. And then the last piece of the puzzle here is we're going to put in our vanilla. All right. And then let's bring this guy back up. And we're going to hit this, work our way up. You don't have to go all the way to 6 because we just want to bring it around and we want to get it all coming together. So right now you can see that you have the banana in there, the sugar, everything's ready to go. So we're going to turn that off. And then now we're going to do our next step. Okay, so here you can see our mixture, and what we want to do is we really don't want to overdevelop the gluten, very similar to what we do with the muffin method. So what we want to do is, start with about 1/3 of our flour mixture, and we want to fold it into the batter. And that doesn't mean stir, that means gently go under the batter to the top. A lot of times you start at 12, and you go to 3, 6, and 9. But the idea is we're folding this in gently. You're getting to the bottom of the container and up around the sides. And again, a lot of times you do it at the 12, and then you go to the 3, the 6, and the 9, and you're folding it over. Once you have most of it folded in, do the remaining 1/3. And again, you want to resist the fact that you want to just mix it in there. We want to keep this a very, very light amount of developed gluten. Okay, we've got the AP flour in there. That's working really well. And as soon as I have almost all of it in, okay, then we're going to go ahead and put in the last amount. And then you're going to work this just until it's mixed. A really nice banana bread is going to bake up really high, just like your muffins, and it's only going to do that, okay, if you do a really nice job with the mixing and don't overmix. So this looks good. I'm going to stop mixing now, and we're going to take a look at how we're going to put it into our pans. Okay, so here we have our mini loaf pans, and what we're going to do is we need to coat them. Traditionally, if you bake, people would take a little bit of fat, Crisco or butter, put it on a paper towel, wipe the inside of the pans, and then put some flour in, and then we do the tap, 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 okay? But what we do today is the same method, but we use what's called a baking spray. Baking spray has the flour already in with the fat. So as I spray this, you're going to see it kind of has that chunky monkey look to it because it has the flour in with the fat. What you don't want to use when you're baking like this is just straight up pan spray. Because if you do that, the edges of your banana bread or whatever you're baking, or your cake, whatever, it's going to brown too much. Okay? Once you've done that, I like to still put a little piece of parchment paper on the bottom. So, little arts and crafts, I cut these little pieces of parchment paper that'll go on the bottom, and then you fill them. You can fill them any way you want. You could do them by weight. I like to just use a blue scoop. I do an even scoop, and I do 3 in each. So I just go 1, 2, and 3 scoops. So we do the 3 scoops. And then I just keep going until I fill it. And then these are going to bake at a 350 degree oven. And here's what we hope to happen. We hope to get what I like to call the Duncan Hines effect. And that is, as the bread bakes up, it comes up even. And then it gets to a point where the edges start to set and they start to get golden. But just like in the muffin, the middle is still saying, I'm not done yet. And it just pushes up through and creates that push-up break open in the middle. And hopefully we get that today. So the only way we're going to know if we get that is we got to get these guys in the oven. Okay, so let's take a look at our oven cam here. We'll open up and we can see that our banana bread has baked beautifully. As we slide it out here, we can see what I was talking about, where the edges start to set and the middle starts to puff up and break. And again, we'll tell the doneness just like on a muffin. We'll give it a little tap. Okay, if it starts to spring back, we know we're good, because we don't want to, mess with the structure. Go to the thickest part of the bread, and the toothpick should come out clean. And if it does, you know you're good to go. So these banana bread are good to go. I'm going to take them out and let them cool, and then we're going to take a look at them. Okay, now that our bread has come out of the oven, let's take a look at it. We have a couple slices of bread, or pieces of bread right here. What I want to do is just take it, and I want to slice right in the center. Use a serrated knife, because I want you to see what I'm talking about, where you can see that the bread was cooking on the edges, it rises up, and then it's going to go ahead and push itself through the center, and it gives you that Duncan Hines kind of look, which is what we're going for. And this is a wonderful banana bread recipe. It's one I've developed a long time ago and been using for a long time. And I think once you make it a few times, you're definitely going to agree that it's a great recipe. It's got a balance of the sweetness. It's got a balance of the nutmeg and the vanilla and the cinnamon. And most importantly, what any quick bread should be is it's very moist and it's very soft and most importantly, very delicious. So thank you for baking with me today, and I can't wait to bake with you real soon right here in Mr. Polk's Kitchen.